Hey, Melamed community. Great to be with you again. I'm Dr. Norma Mobley, along with my dear, dear friend, Dr. Prasharon Dixon.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here again with you. Well, here we are in our new studio space. I hope you love this.
We're loving it right now.
Yes, and we are here to talk as we usually do. Now, we're Melamed, but we tell you, don't let the white coat fool you. We are Black women who experience everyday things, and we are here to talk about some of those as we, go out in our community. Listen, I'm doing it wrong, I'm sure. It's one of these. But listen, Norma, this is Caregivers Month, and I thought that would be a great topic for us because it's not one that we talk about a lot.
And specifically, family caregivers.
Family caregivers. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we have our few statistics, and AARP says that 1 in 4 Americans provide ongoing complex care for folks in their homes. And for us, it's a little bit different, even being a physician having to
and this is care. Becoming more and more reality with the high cost related to in-facility care for our elderly family members. Sometimes the cost outweighs the ability of being able to get that quality care, so to speak, mm-hmm. in a facility. Right. So it's better to keep them at home, mm-hmm. and for the family member, it's better to keep them at home. However, for the one who is caring for them, it can be a little bit complex.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it requires sometimes for family members to choose not to work outside of the home because they're having to take care of someone in the home. So when we think about that, there are some factors that we want to make sure that you're looking at. One, we know that quite a few of our caregivers are what they call in the sandwich era. They are taking care of someone in a home who is less than 18, their children, and also responsible for care of an elderly parent or someone else while they're trying to work in the mm-hmm. middle. This can include a lot of folks, especially we talk about our physicians. It can include us as well. And it's a little more difficult sometimes when you're the only physician in the family and everybody's looking to you not only for the care, but the expertise.
Right.
And so
they expect you to have all the answers.
Yes.
No matter what your specialty is.
Absolutely. We're pediatricians.
Correct. We don't do geriatrics.
Right.
But, there's a good book that says once a man and twice a child. So I guess if we know how to take care of them as babies in the beginning, mm-hmm. then we can baby them at the end as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I've already experienced this. As you know, both of my parents are now deceased. But when my father became ill, I lived in one state, he lived in another, and traveling back and forth 8 hours I would drive to come and take care of my father at 2 weeks periods and then go back home. And then my brother would take over. But as happens in many families, my brother became sick and actually passed away before my father.
Right.
So we find that there are many who are caregivers who then pass away before the person that they were caring for. Mm-hmm. So we really all have to really think about how we spread the work out a little bit more, how we find the village to help us care for the person in our home.
And, I can remember with you that also played a major factor in your career planning mm-hmm. as far as leaving the clinical realm and doing something in a different industry within medicine.
Absolutely. And it many folks have to think about that. Like, what else can you do? And we talk about that with our physician groups anyway, of having yet another gig or something right. else that you're thinking about that you can use your expertise mm-hmm. to do because life changes, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was fortunate that there was another industry that allowed me to be at home with my father and work remotely.
Right.
But still using the expertise that my training
right.
to do that work. But that doesn't happen for everybody.
No, not for everyone. And then there are some of us who are women physicians with elderly parents, but also we may have a spouse, like you were saying about your brother, but you may have a spouse that has a chronic condition or an ailment that also requires you to caretake, even if you have adult children and they're not in the home to help you. So you have to balance career, and then you deal with the stressors every day in the office, and you go home to continue providing that care. You know, we spoke once before about compassion fatigue. So it's very important for you to find that outlet of respite.
Absolutely. Now, it isn't always that the person that we're caring for has significant illness. They're just elderly.
That's right. So yes.
So like in the case of your sister,
my wonderful parents, yes, they are doing very well. My dad is 89, soon to be 90, and my mom is 85. They are independent in many, many ways, but we as a family decided, because they lived in an area of rural America where they didn't have ready access to care, which we know that is a big problem. We thought it would be best for them to be in a city where they had better access to care. So one of my siblings who's not married was willing for them to come and live with her. So the three of them have developed their own dynamics, if you will, in regard to living together again. But what I found so far is we have to remain mindful that we have to respect them as our parents as we try to give them advice on things to do so that they will receive it.
Right. And that's the big thing for the elderly is their independence and feeling like they're losing that ability to take care of themselves. And you are my child. You're not going to tell me what to do.
Right.
But we have to tell them what to do sometimes.
And you have to deal with the pouty face when we say, okay, I don't think it's a good idea for you to drive on the interstate anymore.
Right. Oh, my goodness. I remember that with my grandmother, and we really just had to take the keys away. And she just didn't understand that. I can drive, but every time you drive, somebody gets sideswiped. So.
But, you know, one of the real things is just discussing how traumatic it would be if you were to have an accident.
Right.
And so, you know, that was one of the real conversations we had to have with my dad.
Well, I tell you, AARP really has quite a cadre of information about caregiving. And I really love that they have this whole big plan for you. I mean, you can actually sit down with your family and discuss how are we going to take care of our loved one and how do we all pitch in? Because it's difficult if someone's living in another state to come and pitch in. But the person who's the main caregiver needs a break as well.
Right. So, yes, I'm that one out of state that I quarterly set aside time where I go spend time with my family where they're living now and give my sister a little bit of assistance there.
So caregiving, it's a big thing. It's something we all have to think about, and especially if you are in the medical field or other like heavy working fields, you have to think about how do you bring in the village to help you and to support what you're trying to do for the dignity of the person you're caring for.
Absolutely.
So happy Caregivers Month, everyone.
Happy Caregivers Month.